So today's discourse is regarding judgment. And Reverend Tara, as ministers, as junior ministers, we get the opportunity, she's given us the opportunity to meditate and decide what we would like to share for the next couple of weeks. So, and we know this judgment has been coming up for a couple of weeks, talking about it and contemplating it. So, why concern ourselves with judgment? It is such a mass consciousness habit that we're doing right now. We constantly judge everything. We judge our experiences, we judge people, we judge circumstances, situations. We spend a lot of time and energy deciding what our personal judgment is about the situation. So this is kind of like a muddled, will center area or thinking mind process where we have this will center and this thinking mind, and these situations, people, places come to us, and we start to put attention into it about, well, what should they have done? They should have done this, or they could do this, or we could do this. And it's also self-judgment. Did I do the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? I handled that terribly, or I handled that beautifully. And it's a lot of thinking. It's a lot in the thinking mind. It takes up, if we're thinking about what are we putting our attention on, where are we focusing our energy? Judgment takes up, for a lot of people, a very, and for us, that's why we're also doing this work, it takes a lot of energy to and focus to decide and to judge what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong within ourselves, within others, about situations. And we are questioning, because we're told judge not, and we're taught that not to judge. Why do we keep doing it? How can we refocus our energy? How can we get out of this mental storm of we don't want to judge it and say wasted energy, but we could use our energy in other ways that would be more beneficial as light workers for the planet. And even that's a judgment. So it's kind of a catch-22. But so this judgment is this will center, the solar plexus type of area, and it can become like an overgrown, if so much energy is here all the time, we have to make sure we're balancing all the areas in the body. So how do we deal with judgment? And looking at it as a habit of mind. that this judgment is it's a habit that we've allowed to dominate a lot of our energy. And we say thoughts, but it's more than just thoughts, because it's actually our whole energetic body or being. Where do we put our energy? So just above the solar plexus is the heart. And so just to start with, we could start by working in the heart area. The heart, in the heart chakra area, is the inner and outer environment. It's understanding. And it's that psychic ability to communicate with beings, all beings on this planet that want to communicate. So coming from a place of understanding for ourselves and others. And part of this will center is this pushing and this controlling, and that it relates with the judgment. We think that we can, control, or some of us still try to control situations, people, places, ourselves. And we're also taught to let go and let God. And to, float on the river. Let the river, don't try to fight the flow. Don't try to fight the flow. And we are channels of light and energy. We're also working with the law of attraction. So, we are these God beings co-creating with God in this vessel at this time, and across all time, space, dimension, and circumstance. And if we're going with the flow and we're allowing, to be in perfect harmony with God's will, not our will. So we're letting go. We're letting the solar plexus area relax. So we're not, constantly thinking, judging, configuring. And, one of the things we were thinking about is how much time we spend trying to figure things out. And this is also a form of wasted energy, So when we become this channel, and when we allow this channel, this flow of energy, this God Spirit, Holy Spirit, however you want to call it, to come in, through, and about us. And energy is always changing, always moving. So it's not like the energy just comes in and sits there and stays there. It wants to move. It wants to change. And we're like, these vessels that it's not that it just holds it. It's that it's, moving throughout, in and out, all of our being. And we're these great transmuters of light and energy as human beings. That's part of, if we choose to hear the call, that's part of the work that we can do, is this transmutation. So we're in these bodies, we have this time, space, circumstance, and all of these experiences come to us. We also do some co-creation with God, but a lot of them are, quote unquote, unexpected, or We wouldn't necessarily choose that experience. It's something that we feel like it's handed to us to experience, and or people in our lives, or circumstances, people, all kinds of things that come at us, quote unquote, come at us, for us to experience. We're given all of these experiences. We don't necessarily have a choice. We can resist, but it will come. What we resist persists. So if we resist having a certain person in our life, it will persist. If we resist having a certain circumstance in our life, we can run away, we can try to get away from the situation, but it will, it's like a magnet to teach us love and understanding and compassion, to get us out of this, the solar plexus area, and bringing us up into the heart, up into love and understanding. So if we're a perfect channel, or if we're if we allow this light, this divine experience to flow, it's up to us to see what comes to us, and then don't judge it. It's not to judge it. It's to spend that energy healing it, loving it, understanding it. And we're mentioning a lot of outside examples, but this is so relevant for internal issues that we have. Okay, what am I judging within myself? What do I think is not good enough? What do I think is good? And then they say your greatest strength could be your greatest weakness, and your greatest weakness could be your greatest strength. So who are we to judge? If there's something within us that's causing us to, feel that judgment or take that time, just try to release the judgment, be with the experience. And with all the tools that we've been giving, we have so many ways to work with this. We can do the Ho'oponopono. We can do breathing exercises. We can just sit with it and let it clear on its own. We can observe it, be the detached, witness, observing these situations. And as a great transmuter, we can transmute the energies that are coming towards us, and we can learn how to love, truly love, without judging and spending that energy. And then that's just one step and out of this judgment mentality. We gotta trust God that everything that's being presented to us is not. God is love. God, we're taught to love. So all these experiences, people, situations, it's like we could spend the energy deciding how we're gonna judge ourselves, others, and situations. Or as the situation maybe comes in and you're like, ugh, or yay, or whatever immediate judgment comes up, just give it, experience it as a God being. Even if it's a quote unquote great experience, give it to God. They talk about that, how people pray when they're desperate. That's when the prayers are happening. But even we're, that's if we're so caught in the judgment, we wait for the bad to happen. As beings of light, no matter what the experience is, we give it to God. We are co-creators, we're co-experiencers with God, a clear and perfect channel in the Christ, being sent these experiences to teach us love, to show us, not anybody else. It's all inside. It's all here inside the heart. It's all for us. The whole entire experience is for us. God's showing us where we need to work, where we need to release judgment. Where are we judging ourselves? Where are we still not? Because you can't have judgment and love at the same time. It's limiting and it's separating from God. God is all as all. God is love. It talks about the judgments and all this, but God, it says God is love. And it's not our job to judge ourselves. And this is an obstacle on the path that we can release consciously and through our practices. To practice becoming loving beings and helping to clear the path within us. For what are we manifesting? What are we co-creating with God? What is manifesting within, without, and all about us? Is it love, or is it, and it could be both, because we're always balancing and we're human beings. And it's a practice. It's a practice. But it's beautiful work to do, and we have this way to just transmute this lower energy into a higher dimension, even if it's just one step, because one step is one good, it's one step closer to God. And then even taking the consciousness higher and higher. And we see that everything is one. Everything that we're against or judging is actually us. And it's a gift from God teaching us to love. Teaching us to love ourselves and to love others and to love all of God's creation. And to get out of the thinking mind. And this is what we have to share today. So thank you, and we wish for all beings that we can learn to really love ourselves, love God, love each other, love all beings, understanding, joy, peace, and bliss, and that we use our energy wisely and in line with the will of God, co-creating this beautiful planet and this beautiful experience that we're having together. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving. Give thanks every day. Yes, understanding and love in the heart all day, every day. Gratitude is the attitude. So have a beautiful holiday with your families, friends, whoever you celebrate with, or may you experience Thanksgiving every day. Please join us for a